G'day beautiful people, welcome back to the channel. Hope you're well, happy and living your best life as always. And yeah, you're tuning into our round two, hold on, no, not round two, round one, opening round, no, round one. All right, anyways, it's our round one predictions and tips video, hashtag Chelsea tips. And yeah, thanks for joining us. We're gonna do things a little bit differently. If you're one of the 20 odd people who watched last week's round zero video, we are gonna do things a bit differently this week. It's gonna make life a lot easier for me. I don't have to find graphics and, you know, all my botchy graphics work and all that sort of stuff. So we're just going to jump onto Squiggle, use their ladder predictor as a form of us to put our tips in. Look, I did want to use the AFL websites one, but that's not ready yet. So we're just going to use Squiggle. I used it last year for other stuff. It's good fun. You know, and the good thing about this also is that at the end of the year, we can compare my tipping ladder to the actual AFL ladder. It's going to prove how little I know about football, and it's going to be a good laugh for all of you guys. So hopefully you all stick around to get around that. But yeah, it's going to be fun. So let's get stuck into it. Alright legends, so kicking it off on Thursday night, as it probably always should have been, is Carlton and Richmond at the MCG. This is how we know the footy season's actually starting, but look, I'm not going to go on a big rant about opening round. It was stupid. Hold on, I said I wasn't going to go into a big rant about it. Alright, let's just carry on. Look, Richmond versus Carlton. Look, the Tigers looked awful last week. Other than that, there was like a third quarter where Gold Coast kind of went to sleep for a bit. But look, otherwise, I just think this is a lay down misère. The Blues by 45 points at a minimum. I think the Blues are going to be far too good. They're just too good all over the ground. The Tigers, you know, we all know where the Tigers are at. I see the Tigers as a bottom three side this year. I see Blues as a premiership threat. I can't see it going any other way. Blues by 45. Let's not forget to do our thing. There we go. Blues by 45. All right, moving on to the next game of the round, we've got the Pies and Sydney. This one is also at the MCG. This should be an absolute belter of a game. Look, my gut feel says Collingwood. I don't know if I can see them losing 2 in a row. The Swans did look very good against the D's last week, but I think I'm going to roll with the Pies, and I think we're going to go the Pies by 13, let's say. All right, after that, we're rolling in to the Bombers and the Hawks again at the MCG. Gee, the MCG's got some games this week. Bombers favourites here at $1.61, but I am not buying that. I am going with the Hawks. Look, I don't know. I feel like this early in the year, obviously it's all just gut feel stuff. I mean, you know, obviously there's things that you look at, but I don't know. Maybe it's just because I just don't rate the Bombers this year, and I just, or more, not that I don't rate them. I guess I just have no idea what to expect for them. I think they could finish anywhere between sort of like 16th and 6th. Who knows? I don't even think Bombers fans know, to be honest. But look, I think we're going to see really good growth from Hawthorn this year, and I think that starts with a win over the Bombers. So I'm going to have the Hawks at, well, let's say 16 sounds good to me. The next game here is a pretty straightforward one. It is the GWS Giants versus North Melbourne up at the Sydney Showgrounds. Giants by 7 goals, maybe more. Let's just lock it in at, well, yeah, let's say 42 points. That's 7 goals? 6 goals? 7 goals. Quick maths. All right, so the next game we're going to have a look at is the Cats and the Saints down at Cardinia Park. Gotta love that Squiggle is calling it Cardinia Park and not GMHBA Alphabet Stadium. That's pretty cool. But anyway, look, back to the actual game. Look, I initially thought the Saints here would be a good shout given all the injuries that Geelong have at the moment, especially through their midfield. I feel like the Geelong midfield is quite weak and the Saints midfield isn't so weak. You've got Steele, you've got Crouch, who I'm not sure is even going to be lining up, to be honest. Obviously, it's way too early for teams. But yeah, look, I think that it is down at GMHBA. I'm going to go with the Cats in a close one. Wouldn't be surprised if the Saints did a number, or not did a number, but just sort of, you know, pulled a little bit of an upset here, let's say. But no, look, I'm going to go with the Cats in a close one. Let's go 8 points. I also realized that leaving the squiggle on this screen over here was not a great idea. Anyways, moving right along. The next game we're going to have a look at is the Suns and the Crows at People's First Stadium. That's a strange one. I know it's Carrara on here, but it's actually called People's First Stadium now. Sure, whatever you're into. Look, the Suns were great last week against the Tigers, but they were also just against the Tigers. I do think the Crows are going to be too strong here. Still hurting from Postgate, let's call it, where that caused them to miss the finals on a bit of a bum call, which we all know about by here. But I think they're going to come out firing, and I think the Suns stay at the top of the ladder is going to be short-lived after 1 week. Crows by about 4 goals here. Let's say 25 sounds good to me. The next game we are going to look at is the Melbourne Demons versus the Western Bulldogs at the MCG. Another tough game to call, in my opinion. Melbourne coming off a pretty bad showing against the Swans last week. Gawn got towed up by Grundy, and I'm expecting him to come out breathing fire this week. He really has 2 bad games in a row. Look, if I was Timmy English, I'd be absolutely shitting myself. But, you know, look, it's a good thing I'm not Timmy English, because I'm about 3 feet too short to be Timmy English. Look, I'm not sure whether Melbourne can kick a winning score here, to be honest. Dogs have a very potent forward line with Norton, Jamara, Waitman, all those other guys. And I think if the Dogs can break even in the mids, they should win this one. But I reckon it'll be another closey. So I'm going to go the Dogs in what may be a bit of an upset. Dogs by close, 8 points. All right, next we are moving on to game of the round. If you're a Port fan, West Coast versus Port Adelaide at Adelaide Oval here. Now, before we get into this, I'm going to say, I don't expect West Coast to get babied through the year by the AFL, but for a team that finished dead last with 3 wins, for them to have to face Port at home, Port away, West Coast home, Bulldogs and Sydney in their first 4 games, that seems pretty harsh for me. 2 top 4 teams from last year and 2 teams that are expected to bounce back from a pretty average year last year. I don't know, seems pretty rough, but look, I don't know. Let's say Port by 10 goals. I don't know. Like I said, I think it's pretty. I think the Eagles have been done pretty rough by the AFL on the fixturing. And look, to be honest, with the run that they've got, if they haven't shown something by the round 6 derby, and the round 6 derby comes around and Freo belt us by 100 points, I think it's going to be see you later, Simo. But that's just my opinion. All right, the last game of the round this week is between the Fremantle Dockers and the Brisbane Lions at Optus Stadium, and I think Freo fans are going to feel pretty dirty about this because, look, Brizzy give up a 40-point lead at home in the first game of the year and lose their first game of the season right before playing the Dockers. They are going to be angry. And I think they're going to come out and do a number of Freo here. I think Brizzy by 6 goals. I just cannot see how Freo kick a bigger score than the Lions, even though it is at Optus. I just don't think it is going to be enough for them. So I'm going to go with the Brisbane Lions by 6 goals, I said, didn't I? Yep, 36 points. That is 6 goals. All right, so that sort of wraps up the tips for this week with GWS holding their grasp on the top of the ladder. Now, did I do something wrong there? Because it says that Gold Coast has won 2 games here. Hold on. What did we do? Let's, yeah, we went the wrong way, didn't we? Let's say Adelaide by 26. That's better. Now it looks a bit more normal. All right, so we got, GWS and Carlton as the only 2 undefeated teams after 2 rounds. After people who have played 2 games of footy, because obviously the ladder means nothing until round 6 now, because opening round is dumb. All right, anyways, look, I'm not going to go on about that too much. That'll be it from me. Guys, let me know what you think. Post your tips in the comments below, and we will see you in the next one.